Good morning. Hi guys, this is Kirsten. It's a rainy day here in Sydney. Hi Heather. Um, it's a rainy day. I am getting ready for a full day in my studio. Myself around here. And so I'm all ready to go for clients. And I just wanted to stay on my little challenge for myself to do a Periscope every day this week. So today I wanted to call it Financial Friday because hey Danica, as spa owners, we are typically not very good at money. We may really want it. We may really want our businesses to succeed so it can support us and our families. But like I keep repeating, we went into this business to be in service to others, and sometimes we're not so great at the financial part. So today I wanted to talk about really being the last on the list financially with your business. And I have, I'm a pretty good authority on this because for many, many years, in between having my own little studio when I first got started, to changing and switching into having staff was particularly when the whole concept of me getting paid was a really big deal. It wasn't happening. My bills got paid, my staff got paid, and sometimes I even had to scrimp and, somehow cobble together payroll. And I was definitely last on the list. And that didn't make me feel very good. It made me feel like I was working for no reason. Like, I wanted to be in service. I wanted to give treatments. I wanted to provide this amazing space for our clients to be in. But it was really hard to stay, it's hard to stay motivated when I wasn't feeling any financial rewards personally. So this is really exactly, Nafisa, paying to work is no fun. And sometimes, a lot of the spa owners and salon owners get into, they want to be independent. They want to go on their own. They want to achieve their vision of having their own business. And then they realize they ended up just buying themselves a job. Raise your hand if that's kind of how it feels like. Good morning, Danica. So that's where I was 14 years ago. I felt like I literally bought myself a job and I was paying for it heavily. So, there's 3 points that I want to make about being the last to get paid. And there's some mistakes that I see spa owners, salon owners making. And one of them is confusing and mixing up your personal account with your business. And if you're doing that, it's probably easier to get away with that or not see it as a problem as a solo. But definitely if you've got staff, and Heather, I know that this would be a huge deal. Can you imagine having your personal account, all your business money going into your personal account? It would be just an absolute mess. So if you're a solo and you're on your own and you plan on growing and you have your all your business money going into your personal account, don't stop today. Make an appointment with your bank tomorrow and go in and open up a proper business account. And not just having one business account, but making sure that you have an operating account where money is coming in and going out, daily sales, your regular expenses. But you need to also have some separate business accounts for putting away that money that comes in as gift certificates, because that's not money you get to spend. Yeah, Nafisa, totally pervasive among entrepreneurs. And unfortunately, it's just because a lot of us didn't know any better. And we kind of just were winging it. So make sure you set up a separate account for your gift certificates to keep it clean. Your gift certificates are not a revenue until they are redeemed. And so it's really easy, especially around Christmas time and Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, when you get a lot of gift certificate sales. Even if it's going into your business operating account, it's too easy to spend that money, and it's not your money to spend. Okay, so that's one way you can get yourself in trouble and not end up being able to pay yourself, is that you just simply have overspent money that you didn't have, which was gift certificates. The other thing I'd recommend you have accounts for are putting money away for your taxes, for your personal taxes, and for your GST, HST, or whatever state taxes you have. just so that you are, when I put money away in my tax account every week. And it's just automatically goes in there. I know generally how much money and revenues are coming in on a Friday or on my Thursday, Fridays, because that's the only 2 days that I work in aesthetics. And I have an X amount coming out every Friday that goes into my tax account, so that when it comes time for me to pay GST, when it comes time for me to pay my personal taxes, I've got the money and I'm not panicking. And then the last account you should have is a savings account for your business. And, even if you're not generating a lot of revenues, if you're really in that early growth stage, put a little bit of money away in savings for your business per month. If you can just take it off as an automatic withdrawal that goes into a different account every week, super helpful, because you know what it's like when, all of a sudden, if the dryer breaks, a lot of times entrepreneurs are just putting it on their credit cards because they don't have any kind of savings to have a little bit bigger ticket that costs them. Okay, so the first mistake was using your personal account as your business account, and then I gave you a couple of ideas of accounts that you need to have. The second thing I want to talk about as far as making sure that you get paid is you have to budget how much you want to make every month. And if you're not putting in your cash flow forecasting what you want to be withdrawing every month, how else, it's just it ends up being this kind of willy-nilly idea, like, oh, I'll take whatever's left over at the end of the month. I've heard that from a lot of spa owners. When I ask them, especially when they start as a VIP client, I'm asking them, how much do you get paid? Like, how much do you pay yourself every month? And a lot of times the answer is whatever's left over. That feels crappy. That feels really crappy. So you need to budget how much you want to get paid. And if you are not making that, planning is not sexy, but getting paid is sexy. So this is where you have to put your big girl panties on and be that leader and just get her done. So if you want to, pull in, $3,000 in wages for this month, or for even say for September, you need to put that in your planning and your cash flow forecasting for the month of September. That you need to you make sure that you've got that $3,000 paycheck budgeted in there, so that you know how much you need to be bringing in revenues for the month. And then you can actually start working on that September 1. You can start working on that right now. So make sure you budget your paycheck into your cash flow forecasting. That really, really helps. In fact, that was probably one of the bigger game changers for me when I learned about cash flow forecasting. I wasn't bringing in a paycheck, like I said, and my ex-husband was getting a little bit frustrated, and I was feeling like I wasn't contributing to the family enough. But as soon as I learned that I needed to budget myself in there for my own wages, and then I had a goal for the whole month of how much I needed to make, then, the rubber hit the road and I was off and running. And I could use my, some of my strategies, like increasing my average ticket, making sure I was pre-booking. I was using all those daily strategies to make sure I got paid at the end of the month. The third point I wanted to make before we finish up here is, if you're getting paid last, what does that say about your money mindset? And what does that say about how you feel about yourself and money? And I know some of you may be thinking, well, if I'm not bringing in the revenues, how can I possibly take that money home? It's just backs. But I just talked about it earlier. Plan for it. You have to make a plan for it. You have to create goals for it, or you're just not going to get there. It'll just be this pie in the sky idea that you want to get, an X amount of dollars for your paycheck. So what does that do? What does that say about your mindset? It maybe says that you don't quite feel worthy, that you're worth that amount of money as far as a personal paycheck. It just might be something that needs to be explored. I can't say for sure what it is for you, but I definitely think that if you're not getting paid, and if you're not planning your paycheck, and if your money's all mixed up with your business and personal, there's some cleaning up to do about your money mindset. And there's all sorts of resources out there. I beta tested a course that I created in the springtime. It was called Cash Strap to Cash Flow. And Danica, you were in that class. And I was testing it out because I wanted to make sure that the idea of what I had for this course actually worked and that spa owners got results from them. And holy cow, man, they sure did. I know one of the girls, she sent me a message about 3 months after we'd finished, 2 months after we'd finished, and she doubled her revenues. So, but in that course, one of the classes was I brought in a lady who that's what she talks about is money belief systems, what your past belief systems are, what your future belief systems are. And it was really a fascinating part to look at the whole finances. Danica, you need to look at your cash flow forecasting again. You know what? It's super easy as a solo to, fall off the wagon with your cash flow forecasting, but it is honestly the strongest tool to generate the revenues that you want. Like, without a doubt, without a doubt. So that Cash Strap to Cash Flow course, I'm actually in the works for putting that on again in the fall as a full version. And I'm just going to leave that for now, that little tidbit, but you're going to start noticing me talking more about cash flow forecasting and money mindsets and just money in general because spa owners and salon owners, well, we have a really hard time with this piece of our business. Totally feels unsexy, like Nafisa said, and it is kind of unsexy, but the rewards of doing it and sticking with it and stepping up with that no compromise leadership that I totally love that phrase from Neil Dukoff from Strategies, no compromise leadership. And my no compromise leadership was when I turned my business around was totally about planning, forecasting, goal setting, and executing it, making sure I got it done. So there you have it. There's the Financial Friday Periscope. I'm going to do Financial Friday next Friday as well. And I have my studio ready for my first client, and she should be here shortly. So I'm going to sign off. Thanks for joining me, you guys, and have a wonderful Friday. Anybody working Saturdays? Who's working tomorrow? That's one thing I don't miss is I don't miss working Saturdays in the studio. All right, guys, have a great weekend, and I will be back on Periscope on Monday morning. If I feel inspired on the weekend, I might hop on too. So we'll chat with you then, and we'll see you either on Facebook. You can find me at Refreshed Biz, or if you haven't already joined my Beauty Biz brainstorming group, it's a private group, so you have to ask to be let in. Look that up, and I'll let you in, and we can all talk about business, spa business. All right, thanks, guys. You're working Sunday too? Oh my gosh, weddings. Oh yeah. Sometimes it's just you got to do what you got to do. All right, talk to you later, guys. Happy weekend.